Lorelai quickly adjusted to walking on a leash, but Boo still pulls. Every time. Now, I have a bad back sprain. Courtesy of Boo pulling. Because it's so easy for me to sprain my back again if he pulls me wrong, I've stopped walking the dogs alone. But hubby is rarely home in time for us to have time to walk in the evening. Translation: we don't walk our dogs, but I was determined to find a way to get them walking on their leash better. We all need the exercise. This is often the case for dogs who aren't leash trained. Dogs truly need those walks though. But walks are important for socializing and brain health in dogs as well as exercise. The exposure to new smells and new people and doggy friends keeps them stimulated. This stimulation from walks is necessary to dog health and longevity. But if I can't walk them alone, and hubby isn't home to help, what do I do? So, I decided that enough is enough. It's time to finally leash train these dogs properly. But I don't have a lot of time. Plus, I can't afford to let Boo try to drag me during the process. Before any problem can be solved, you need to understand why it's happening. Why does my dog pull on the leash? I set out to understand why my Boo pulls so badly. Some people think it's about dominance. The dog thinks they are in charge. After consulting tons of websites and a couple books I bought on dog training, I found out that's not it. They're not trying to be in charge. They're excited. There are smells, and sights, and people, and other animals, and they want to see it all right now. Plus, we dog guardians to reinforce this bad behavior. Huh? Yep, you heard me. It's our fault they keep pulling and won't leash train. When they pull, we move with them. Some people let them drag them. Others just don't pay enough attention and the dog knows it. That's how Boo sprained my back. I wasn't paying attention and he yanked me onto some ice. He got to where he wanted to be. I fell. Finally get your dog to stop pulling / how to stop leash pulling. And the rest is history. The great news is that the methods we'll talk about stop this pull, reward cycle. And in the end, we'll have our dogs walking alongside us every time. And leash training is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Mindset. First, we need the proper mindset for both human and dog. Training takes patience. Sometimes lots of it. But this is a teaching moment. You can go for a jog. If your dog is able to keep up, you can even go for a bike ride, as long as you're careful not to drag your dog. Be kind and positive with your pup. Of course, don't yank on your dog when they aren't listening. It's much easier to hurt your dog than you realize while they're on a leash. Your dog will also respond to your tone and words. They may not understand the definitions when you say mean or angry things, but they understand your emotions. You must be patient with your dog. It can be helpful to first play with your dog. Exercising the dog first wears them down a bit so that they don't have a ton of excess energy to funnel into that exciting walk. So, play fetch, run around the yard with them, roughhouse. Whatever you do to wear out your dog, make dog walks fun. Just make it fun so you're both happy to take that leisurely walk. I mentioned earlier that walking doesn't exercise our dogs because we walk too slowly for them. The good news is that once they're leash trained, you can exercise with them more. Finally get your dog to stop pulling / how to stop leash pulling. Dogs are adept at picking up signs from their people, body language, tone, facial expression. They understand it. Some dogs understand people better than most people I know. This understanding makes perfect sense. Dogs and humans have been friends for thousands of years, even evolving side by side since those first days of companionship. So, if you're not up for staying positive during a walk, you may want to keep it brief that day. Be consistent with your dog. One of the key things I've learned about dog training is that dogs will do what they want, unless they know for sure we won't let them. That means setting the rules for leash time, and sticking to them. So, no starting to train, and then letting them get away with pulling. Dogs do not understand sometimes. It's nowhere in their language. When you let things slide occasionally, your dog learns that if he's persistent, you'll let him get away with what he wants to do. So, I cannot ever let Boo pull on the leash. Never. No matter how cute he is. Sigh. Finally get your dog to stop pulling / how to stop leash pull. Reward your dog for walking nicely. Another way to be kind to your dog while training is to stop occasionally for them to sniff things. To them, The entire point of walking is to explore the sights and smells. Stopping here and there to let them sniff and check things out is the best reward for walking nicely. They'll learn that you're going where they want to go. They just need to stick with you and you'll never let them down. 2. Methods. I've got 2 primary methods for training dogs to behave properly on a leash: greater than, the stop or tree method, and the reverse method. What do you do when your dog pulls on the leash? For the stop, tree method of leash training, start your walk. As soon as your dog pulls, stop moving. Just stand like a tree. Your dog will wonder why you've stopped. Don't move again until your dog puts slack in the leash. They may sit, lay down, come back to your side. However, they do it. As long as there is slack, you can start moving again. Repeat. Often, you won't even have to say a word. If you do say anything, simply state, "No pulling." Once. Do not repeat yourself. When you repeat yourself with your dog, they learn that they don't have to obey until you've repeated yourself. So, if you typically say a command 3 times, your dog won't listen until the 3rd time. So, say it once and done. Then we have the reverse method of leash training. I love this method, and it's what I'm working on with Boo. Some chronic pullers need a more immediate feedback than the tree method provides. The reverse method is built for them. Finally get your dog to stop pulling. How to stop leash pulling. Instead of standing like a tree when the dog pulls, you reverse course. You don't jerk the leash to do it, you just simply turn and go the other way. Most of the time, the dog will now excitedly pull in that direction. Just turn around again. Most dogs to figure out what you are doing and stop pulling. I've seen it happen in several training videos. And a trainer friend of mine uses this method successfully with her most determined cases. There's a way to punch up the effectiveness of both of these methods. Your voice. When we talk in an excited voice, our dogs gravitate toward us to find out why. They want to be part of it. So, if your dog doesn't respond right away, talk to them in your excited voice. They'll think they're missing something and come to you. That puts slack in the leash, and then you can move forward again. It doesn't matter much what you say in this part as long as you're upbeat and excited. So, you can say, "Come on, let's go this way." They're not responding to a command here, just the excitement in your voice. Finally get your dog to stop pulling. How to stop leash pulling. 3. Equipment. You can go a number of ways. A standard collar and leash is all you should need in most cases. For some chronic heavy pullers, guardians may want to upgrade. Choke collars for dogs. Let's talk about this one. I understand why people may feel they need to use this option, particularly for larger, heavier dogs or dog perceived to be aggressive. But I really hope you won't resort to the choke collar. It bothers me a lot. This is a collar that literally deters your dog from pulling by choking them. It can be painful and even dangerous. Finally get your dog to stop pulling. How to stop leash pulling. Every qualified trainer I've ever spoken to, read about, or watched says that positive reinforcement is far more effective for every breed. Plus, some breeds get more aggressive with this sort of negative training method. And I have an equipment upgrade that can help you avoid the choke collar while still maintaining control of your dog. Chest lead harness for dogs. A chest lead harness can come in a couple forms. What all forms I've seen have in common is that the harness buckles behind the front legs and has the lead ring on the chest rather than the back of the harness. Finally get your dog to stop pulling. How to stop leash pulling. Some attached to the collar as well, so you can eventually phase out the harness if you want. What this harness does is take the pressure and control of the dog off its neck. This can be much safer for the dog's sensitive neck muscles. When a harnessed dog pulls, the harness shifts to the side. This naturally turns the dog back toward you. My personal favorite version of the chest lead harness is Victoria Stilwell's original positively no-pull harness. Victoria is a genius when it comes to dog training and products. Her reputation as an expert is well-deserved. Her chest lead harness is heavy-duty enough to help train the most determined pullers, and yet is versatile enough to help transition from chest lead to back attachment. This helps you have a middle step between the chest lead and attaching the leash directly to their collar. Whichever of the methods you're using, the dog coming back toward you reinforces that staying with you is what they want to do. Finally get your dog to stop pulling. How to stop leash pulling. More tips. So, that's the 1, 2, 3. The goal is that your dog starts staying right by your side or slightly in front of you as you walk them. To truly test them, once they consistently stay with you, change up your dog walking route. Walk in circles. Do a loop. If they turn to the right where you normally do, go left so they have to come back. You'll see that on top of no longer pulling, your dog stops trying to anticipate the routine and focuses more on staying with you. Finally, get your dog to stop pulling. How to stop leash pulling. Reinforcing leash training with rewards. You've removed the reward of getting their own way, so you can reward them for giving you your way. Treat a dog who stays by your side with their favorite mini training treat. Stop and let them smell the roses, that bush, that other dog. Whatever they want. Use lots of praise and excitement when the dog stays with you, and always try to end with love. Love them up with hugs and kisses when you put them on the leash and again when you take them off. Praise your dog at the end of your walk. You want to always end on a high note so you both look forward to your walks. I'll let you know how things out with Boo, and I hope you'll keep me posted on your leash training. I'm also open to other ideas and tips if you have them. Finally, get your dog to stop pulling. How to stop leash pulling. Update. Boo has stopped pulling. I used the reverse method to kickstart his progress and he did a great job. Eventually, all I had to do was stop and use the tree method and he'd trot right back to me. We made most of our progress in 15-minute walks in our neighborhood. The short sessions meant that I had his full attention for the entire walk. I did have to leave Lorelai at home for these sessions, so I had to take them on separate walks until Boo caught on. The great news here is that I got more steps in for my fitness goals. And once we brought Lorelai and Boo along for walks together again, it only took about 10 minutes for Boo to realize that the rules hadn't changed. So, yay, success. I've also updated a few parts of this post, so be sure to check them out. For more information on training, you can read our post Patch Puppies Tips for Successful Training. And to find out how to socialize a new dog into your family, read our post Should You Introduce a New Dog to Your Family?